Things go better when they go your way. And with Windows PCs powered by Intel, you can make, share, and do what inspires. Whether you want a laptop, a tablet, or something for gaming, you'll have devices that were made for you to keep doing what inspires you and everyone else. Learn more at windows.com/made-to-inspire.
Staples Connect brings the school supplies zhuzh in a year when we need it the most. They've got more backpacks, more pens, more supplies than you ever thought possible. And they're ready to fill any list with a store full of great deals. So double knot your shoes, gas up the minivan or Prius or whatever, and smear war finger paint on your face. Staples is more than ready for back to school. Visit your local store or staplesconnect.com for inspiration. Did you sleep on the wrong side? I'm catching a bad vibe, and it's contagious. What's the latest? Speak your heart, don't bite your tongue. Don't get it twisted, don't misuse it. What's your problem? Let's resolve. We can solve it. What's the cause is? It's official. You got issues, I've got issues, but I know I miss you. Am I supposed to change if you're supposed to change? Who should be hurt? Who should be blamed? Am I supposed to change? Are you supposed to change? Who should be hurt and will we remain? Oh, we need a resolution. We need a resolution. We have so much confusion. We have so much confusion. You let me know. You let me.
It is fascinating. I mean, I guess I can't believe that. This year will be 20 years since Aaliyah died.
20 years.
Seem like it has been 20 years since we lost Aaliyah, but shout out to her, man. And this weird rendition. It was slower. I don't know if you if you were trying to chop and screw it. I don't know. Either way, we will remember Aaliyah's legacy.
Not this weird rendition.
And thank her for her gift.
Aaliyah Dana Houghton, we speak your name always. You were a breath of fresh air in a moment in time. So many nostalgic memories attached to Aaliyah songs and Aaliyah choreographed dances from videos and, Aaliyah hairstyles and fashions. So yeah, it's been 20 years since that album, and it will be 20 years since her untimely passing. So I just thought that's how I would open up with my weird rendition.
I'm sorry if that was offensive, but I was I'm trying to catch the beat. I'm trying to catch the rhythm. I can't quite.
Did you slip on the wrong side? I'm catching a bad
you changed
vibe,
keys.
and it's contagious.
Okay.
What's the latest? Speak your heart, don't bite your tongue.
I'm just trying to. We're just gonna make it.
Is that it? No.
It was a little bit faster. Okay. So yes.
I don't remember it being so. Did you slip on the wrong side? I'm catching a bad vibe.
I'm saying the second time you did it was faster than the first. But we don't have to do this anymore. Praise the Lord, niggas. Okay. Praise the Lord, niggas.
Praise the Lord, niggas.
We are back. And I'm Keia, and that over there is Jade. And we are here to discuss the ghettos of adulthood, honey, the worst hood we've ever endeavored to live in. What a trashy mess.
The tests, the trials, the tribulations, the track stars, the track runners,
not even,
and the light tire tread of being an adult of the year of our Lord.
It's not even. Okay, all right, whatever. It's fine. So what's going on this week, man? How are things?
Much. The track marks. They're good. I am actually technically not here right now.
This is true.
Technically. Keia and I are recording early because I am on vacation right now. Right. Somewhere we are in the northwest region of the country, trekking through the redwoods and or watching whales. Shout out to you, human, who tweeted me with that awful fucking video of those people whale watching in the ocean on little boats, stupidly. And a whale jumped up and basically scared the shit out of everybody, literally. So,
well, I don't blame the whale because you were at the whale's house uninvited.
Oh, agreed. I agree. But these people were on like kayaks or paddle boats or some stupid ass shit in the middle of the ocean. This is why I don't outside,
but I wish you all the best.
Thank you, sis. I will outside so hard for the both of us.
Because I'm never outsiding.
I know. And
but
I'll always outside.
Yeah. So
how are you?
Listen, I am present.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I figure as much.
And that's all that I have.
Has it been a rough day?
I am in a very intense season of work. I'm always working very hard, but this is just kind of like an unprecedented time of pressure.
Okay, fair.
And I have many jobs, so it seems like all deadlines and responsibilities and deliverables are all happening at one time. And, you know, I
can dig it.
I have no time for anything other than work. So
I can dig it. That can be frustrating. So I understand. So you being present is enough, and we're grateful for your presence.
Oh, wow.
Y'all should see this constipated ass smile. Well, let's get into some trash.
I'm grateful for all of the jobs that I have, and I will show up and I will work them.
I know that's right, because you get to roll around in that big giant bed of yours when it's all said and done with that amazing headboard. Y'all should see Keia's fucking headboard.
Okay.
It's incredible.
Well, yes, we should travel on into
Let's travel on to the trash. Yeah, we got quite a bit of it. So
that we can get to the things that need to be gotten to.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay, so the trash is pretty heavy this week. First and foremost, Suzanne Douglas passed away.
Yeah, she did. Very sad.
Such a staple. Yeah, it was really sad to hear. I believe she was 64 years old. Suzanne was a staple in our Black Hollywood. You know, those faces that you always see and you always know. She was in The Parenthood with friend to the show and the beautiful Reagan Gomez. She was in Set It Off. She was in Waiting to Exhale. Like, she's just been in a laundry list of things and a staple on our TV screens for quite some time now. So it was really sad to hear about her untimely passing. And love to her family, her loved ones, to her friends, to her former co-stars and things like that. We just want to send love in that direction.
Absolutely.
Next, so like I said, we're recording early, and this morning I woke up to the news that the president of Haiti had been assassinated.
Very, very sad. I don't understand.
So I know there's been a lot of political unrest, a lot of protests and things that have been happening for quite some time, specifically, I think, pretty heavy since February. I could be wrong, but I think pretty heavy since February, especially. He's been president since 2017, and I know there's been some controversy around that and like different feelings. But overall, my prayers are for Haiti, for the people of Haiti, because this is really sad. I mean, you know, people being killed in their beds in their sleep, like that ain't it. But I don't really know the ins and outs of his dealings. The people of Haiti, though, I can say have dealt with so much, like so much. I remember reading some stories some time back about these military militias that would come through neighborhoods and they were killing families and there were kidnappings and there's just been so much turmoil and unrest that it's just heartbreaking because there's so many innocent people involved in all of this who don't get to live peaceful lives because of political bullshit. So, and let me not even call it bullshit because I know it runs deep, but I just really, my prayers are really just for the people of Haiti. That's ultimately like the bottom line on my end is my prayers are for the people of Haiti.
Very, very sad, scary times. And I mean, I agree that, I don't know. It's like you wake up in the morning, you don't know what you're going to see across your phone, across your television, or whatever way that you get the news. It's just a crazy time to be alive. So, I mean, I want to echo your sentiments and just keep the citizens of Haiti in prayer. Like, it just seems like they are, constantly being tested with extreme hardship and difficulties of all kinds, of all nature, and whether it be natural disaster, political unrest, economic hardship, it's just so much happening. And
political corruption.
It's so much. And shout out to the people who are still there, still celebrating history and culture and thriving and just showing up and being themselves, and trying to, leave a better legacy in the country of Haiti.
Oh man. It's just, especially as being one of the first Black republic, and it's just heartbreaking. I really just pray for the citizens. Like you said, it's really just for the citizens. Political corruption just seems to run so rampant, and it's so heartbreaking to see how it affects people that it should not affect. So yes, please keep Haiti in your prayers. So last week we talked about Sha'Carri Richardson a little bit. We got a comment. Somebody said that Michael Phelps actually was penalized and removed from competing for 6 months because of his video. So that was our mistake.
No, I didn't say that he wasn't penalized. I said he didn't test positive. Like Sha'Carri.
You did say that.
Sha'Carri did. But I know that there were many consequences that he had to pay. I'm just saying the nature of the quote offense was different. And so the penalties were different. But I wasn't, and forgive me if that's what was
I probably
implied,
said something.
but
I didn't.
Yeah,
I said white people get away with a whole bunch, so I'm sure I was wrong somewhere. But I still think they do that. That doesn't go without that. It's actually a thing. But in this particular case, I get it.
A lot.
But this ain't about Michael Phelps.
Absolutely.
It's about the Olympics and the overall issues that they need to fix within that system, which goes bigger than the Olympics. However, this is not about that. So Gabby Thomas, who is also a track runner, had some comments around people talking about boycotting the Olympics because of Sha'Carri's suspension. And she was like, it really hurts to see so many Black people choosing not to watch the Olympics this year. There's so many Black athletes who have put in years of hard work for this moment, myself included, and we want your support, which is very fair and very valid. Sha'Carri actually spoke and said, listen, I knew the rules, and despite everything that I was going through in my life, I broke those rules and I have to suffer the consequences of those. And so that speaks very much to what Keia was speaking on last week, and it was a very valid point. You're absolutely right. So does that again mean that there are not some fundamental flaws within these systems? Absolutely not. But we can discuss both of these at the same time. Like you said, two things can't be true at the same time. So that was just a note from Gabby Thomas.
Well, and I think it is very sad to see it come to this, right? So like, and like so quickly, right? So when I think it's Sha'Carri. I keep saying it wrong. When Sha'Carri ran the qualifiers and made the Olympic team, right? When she won
my
that.
bad.
No, I'm just want to make sure because I don't, I'm a stickler for names because people say mine wrong all the time.
Absolutely.
So when she won, and it was around the same time, that Gabby Douglas was qualifying along with the other young lady. I think her name is, what's the other little black girl on the team? Oh, I can't think of it. I can see her little light skin face, but I can't call her name. Jordan.
It is Sha'Carri. You're
Jordan.
right.
It's Sha'Carri, yeah. But Jordan, there's another young lady named Jordan on the Olympic team, that qualified. Just is this a time where it just seemed like every other day we were seeing an amazing black woman athlete doing her thing at the Olympics, and it seemed like for a couple of days, we were really excited about how black women are just going to come to Tokyo and show out, right? And so we was all excited about that. And, so quickly, things have changed. And it's not just the individual Sha'Carri situation, but it seems like there's now this tension and people have taken sides. And it's like petty and messy and boycotting the Olympics. And I mean, I understand all of that. But I mean, I think Gabby raises a point, right? So it's like, it's just a difficult place for us to be in. And I mean, just really so soon after we were all really excited. I bought me a little, who all gonna be there? Black girl Olympic shirt, with the Olympic rings, was like bamboo earrings. I bought one off of Instagram. And I just was so excited about my little ratchet girl Olympics, right? And now everything just seems to be so like, wow.
I know. So, well, there may not be no Olympics, child, because now...
Huh? Come on.
Tokyo, they said the Delta variant is running rampant through Tokyo, and now they might have to go...
Are the people of Tokyo vaccinating or no?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure. And I'm not sure how the vaccinations work with this Delta variant based off of the things I've been reading.
I feel like I see something every other day. There's some people that say that the vaccine keeps you safe against the variant. There's other people that say it does not.
Yeah, so I'm not even going to pretend like I even know. I'm not sure. I know they were talking about how, mask culture is not out of the ordinary. They said, when we have a tickle in the throat, we put a mask on, and that's just out of consideration for the mass population. But we'll see what happens with the Olympics with this again. Jeez, not again, just continuing, because it just has never gone away.
Right.
It's just never gone away, guys. Just a FYI. It's just never gone away. There was this white man in New Jersey who lost his everlasting mind and was harassing his neighbors. I don't know how the feud started, but I know that he definitely was harassing his neighbors. And in the middle of the feud, it was caught on camera. So this man was caught on camera calling this family all types of racial slurs and epithets and all kinds of things. And he started yelling his address and was like, if you have a problem, you come see me. The police came. He's yelling at the police in ways that we can't. Well, his dumbass forgot how the internet works and was screaming his address many times. And so the police showed up to his address and arrested him for assault and intimidation. He was charged with assault and intimidation. It was a small victory to see all of the people surrounded outside his house somebody was slapping him in the head with a Black Lives Matter flag. They were throwing water bottles and yes, child, it was actually pretty fun to watch. I mean, I'm not gonna say, sorry to be the Debbie Downer, in the back of my mind somewhere it wasn't like, hey, they're gonna take this nigga and drive him around the block and then drop him back at home as soon as y'all clear out. I'm not gonna say I did, because I did think it. But it still, it still felt good to see that I don't know, man. I don't know.
I think it was a bright spot. I don't know.
There we go. Thank you.
Just like, all right. Like, right. It's just like, okay.
It's like, good.
Like, we don't really know the long-term implications of what happens or what this is going to change. But to me, it does send some small message that,
It's just a good.
it's just like, okay. Because, I mean, what blessed me is just like, he was like, y'all can't do nothing to me. What's going to happen to me? And it was like, okay.
Okay. And then he got on the internet afterwards, and this is how I know he's out. Because he got on the internet afterwards talking about how he calls himself a nigger. Okay. And how he calls his friends white and black niggas. Okay. And how, he just says stupid things because he hasn't been educated. Sir.
Okay.
Sir.
All right.
Sir.
Okay.
We heard you. We saw you. We heard and saw you. So everybody fucking heard and saw you calling this man, and you were very pointed with it. Calling him all manners of monkeys and niggas and Africa references and everything else in between. So please, just save it. Save this tired ass explanation because it's tired.
An explanation. It's an excuse, but okay.
Excuse. There we go. Excuse me. Thank you. Excuse. Save your tired excuse. You might as well. I really wish y'all would just sit up here and scream that you hate niggas from the mountaintops when you do, because I know where the fuck you stand. I'm not going to try and change your mind. I know where you stand. All I need to know is where you stand. That's where I'm at. And that's the trash this week. I think it's enough.
I do agree that is plenty trash. It's enough. I saw online. I looked. I'm sorry, very quickly. I looked very quickly and saw that only 8% of the population of the nation of Tokyo. Tokyo, the nation of Japan, the city of Tokyo, only 8% of Japan has been vaccinated.
They might not have had, they may not be having the resources. I don't know if they...
Well, no, they said that they set a goal to have 1 million people vaccinated by a certain time, but they just have not. They have fallen very, very short of that goal.
Is it supply or is it choice?
It's not clear based upon the article that I just read, but I mean, I just was looking to see if whether or not there was a critical mass of people who have been vaccinated over there, and it appears that there has not been.
Okay.
So we'll see. As you said, we have a couple more weeks until things pop off for the Olympics, and so we'll see how it goes.
We'll see how the titties fly, because they can fly any direction, especially when you're laying down. We have some positivity to get to, a good shout out, so let's do that.
My sis is popping right now, like.
This week's Shout Out to My Sis is presented by Target. Target invests in Black creators and entrepreneurs by building a legacy of success. Let's rise together. Discover more at target.com/Black Beyond Measure.
So I'm really excited about the shout out this week. We actually got an email, and I didn't even know about this company, but I'm so happy to know about them now. The email says, "Hi, Keia, Jade, and team. I hope this email finds you doing well.
Come on, team.
I admire." Soon come. I admire your Gettin Grown podcast and especially love your Gettin Mentality Healthy episode. Thank you. Oh, excuse me, Getting Mentally Healthy. Wow, you can read. I have a Portland-based skincare company that I would love to get on your radar, and it's Helen Rose Skincare. Since launching in 2019, Helen Rose has garnered over 200 5-star reviews, 200 plus 5-star reviews on their organic skincare and body products, and has partnered with American Express, Adidas, and Providence Hotels. So the best-selling Kapwaka. I don't know. Kapwaka butter is known to soothe itchy eczema and psoriasis skin. I suffer from eczema, so I'm very excited to hear that. A limited edition Pride Love Butter was launched to celebrate love out loud. Helen Rose Skincare is on a mission to increase diversity in the wellness industry by centering dark-skinned Black models in all marketing campaigns, and a portion of every sale supports Thrive Foundation, Foundation, which provides wellness and yoga for survivors of trauma and domestic violence, including queer survivors who are often underserved. Since 2018, Thrive Foundation has connected over 1,000 adult and child survivors of domestic abuse to yoga and healing services with the help of funding from Helen Skincare. So I thought it was really awesome. This is a Black-owned business that supports the LGBTQ plus community. It's vegan. I love the interface of the website. It's clean and clear and easy to understand. So you will find all of that information in the description box, but that is helenroseco.com. Again, all of that will be in the description box. But go get your life.
Amazing.
Super excited. All right, let's move on to this kitchen table talk.
All right, let's do it. We're all looking for the same things in life. History books that actually, report the history and not the fake news. A new Beyonce album because, honey, our bodies are ready. And skincare products that offer clinically proven hydration and leaves the skin with a wealthy, healthy, non-greasy, glowing, luxurious finish. Now, I can't help you with the first two, but Neutrogena, a dermatologist recommended brand, has the skincare goals covered with their Hydro Boost facial care line. The line's Hydro Boost Gel Cream and Night Press Serum are both clinically proven to strengthen skin's moisture barrier and lock in hydration for 48 hours, honey. That's like 4 days or something. You'll get uncompromising hydration thanks to both products' hyaluronic acid, which has the ability to bind water and literally hold it within the skin surface, girl. Neutrogena's Hydro Boost Gel Cream, honey, it's gel and a cream all in one. It's made with glycerin that penetrates the skin 9 surface layers deep, honey, deep down into your business for long-lasting hydration. And the Neutrogena Night Press Serum, girl, it will revitalize your skin, letting you wake up to skin that's 3 times more hydrated than you normally would, honey. No ashy faces around here. Made with purified hyaluronic acid and supercharged antioxidants. It's a pillow-proof formula, honey, that won't ruin your good sheets and things because it melts right into your skin instantly. Both the gel cream and the serum are oil-free, dye-free, and non-comedogenic. And so you understand that I'm a woman of a particular age, honey, and I don't play about my skincare. Now you know that. I don't want to be out here looking like the women of the cast of Encore on the BET. Okay, so I'm out here using all the products that I need to use to keep me looking youthful and luxurious and moist and supple out here in these streets as I age. So what I've been doing is using both the gel cream and the Night Press Serum. And I'm here to tell you that what bags, honey, what fine lines, what wrinkles, it gives all that it needs to have gave. And I'm not just saying that, I'm actually using it. And I have been for a minute. And you're not going to be mad, okay? So I'm telling you, get on down to wherever you get your things and get the Neutrogena Hydro Boost line. It can be purchased at every major retailer. Start your hydration journey today at Neutrogena.com/Hydro Boost. That's NEUTROGENA.com/Hydro Boost.
If you want a menstrual product that looks out for your body, your lifestyle, and the planet, you've got to try Flex. Flex is innovating period care with products that are body safe, made for comfort, and made to keep you moving. The Flex Disc is a one-time use menstrual disc that fits perfectly inside your body. It can be worn for 12 hours and holds as much flow as 3 super tampons. 3 of them. 3 of them, y'all. It's unlike any other period product you've ever seen, and you can wear it for mess-free period sex. Hello! If you want to go zero waste, pick up the Flex Cup, a reusable menstrual cup with a patented pull tab that makes it the only cup on the market that removes like a tampon. It's so easy. I have to tell you all, it's so easy. I actually tried a cup before that didn't quite work for me, and I was very squeamish about, sticking my little fingers up there and whatnot. This may sound like a lot of information, but it's a period ad. So, it wasn't really my zhuzh. I was a little hesitant to try the Flex when it showed up to the crib, and let me tell you, your girl was quite pleased. You all know I like nature. Kia's always talking about me because I like to be outside hiking and, trekking through trees and things like that. Do you think that is really easy to do, to change a pad? I mean, can you imagine the mess and the frustration? I don't have to do that with the Flex disc or the Flex cup. I got options. Okay, you can do both. So make sure you all try it out if you want to try some. And I mean, I am quite intrigued by this period sex situation. Okay, it's always been a hard no in my house, but but now we get to get busy and it doesn't get messy. Say goodbye to cramps, but put sex back on the table and lend Mother Nature a hand. Go to flexfix.com/grown and use code GROWN for 20% off Flex disc starter kits or 10% off your first Flex cup. Plus free US shipping. That's code GROWN at flex, FLEX fits.com/grown.
All right. So as I mentioned during last week's Black Woman Self-Care segment, I've been trying to be a bit more intentional around practicing, like really actively practicing my self-care, self-love, growth and personal development, like really doing the work. I would say that for a while, a lot of my, maybe I shouldn't say it like that. I was going to say I've really done a lot of listening, a lot of reflecting, a lot of thinking, but I hadn't really been, when I'm honest about the kind, like, reflecting on who I am and knowing how I learn and how I, conceptualize and, my own approach to really sort of adopting and applying new understanding in my life. I had just trying to do it like I see, like modeling what others do instead of listening to my own body and taking note of my own habits and what comes naturally to me. And so as a student of life and as someone who is sort of like, very much at home in the learning space, so someone who enjoys learning and actively learning through writing and those and reflecting and those kinds of things, I've been more intentional about applying that to my self-growth, self-love, all of that stuff journey. And so I started studying things, started really like using all of my thousands of notebooks to really write down and really dive in to materials, not just reading it and ingesting it, but really sort of like conceptualizing it, learning it, what it, and thinking about these things with a lot of intention and thought. And so I have been, everyone says all the time that I need to be more kind to myself. And I need to talk to myself as if I was talking to one of my close friends. And, I hear that, and that is very well received, like, in terms of feedback. But when I think about what that looks like in actual practice, I've struggled as far as really applying it to my life. And so I wanted to do better about applying it. And so I've really been doing a lot of study around like how to be your own best friend. How do you, what does it look like every day to show yourself, to treat yourself like a friend? And so that led me into doing a lot of learning and studying about like self-compassion, self-love, and all of that. And so I thought it would be cool for us to talk about at the kitchen table, if we were to sort of take a page from Beyonce when she told us to be our own best friends, and thinking about it from the perspective of like, who you are and how you treat yourself sets the standard for how you allow other people to treat you in all of your relationships. And I'm not talking about romantic relationships. I'm just talking about like at work or, friendships, all of that stuff. But, how you treat yourself, how you love yourself really does set the standard for how you receive love and give love. So what would it look like for us to really be more intentional about thinking about loving ourselves and being more compassionate to ourselves in much more applied and practical ways?
I love it. Let's do it.
So I started off by I'll ask you first.
Okay.
If you had to define like self-compassion or like what it means to show yourself, like how do you show yourself self-compassion? What does self-compassion or self-love mean to Jade?
Oh, maybe not beating myself up as much for things that I cannot get done.
Right.
In the times that I think that they should be done in. And the ways that I speak to myself, you know what I'm saying? Being just a little bit more kind, you know, even with the small things, like, you know, you trip over something or do something, you dummy. But, like, you know, try not to do shit like that, because words are spells. You're not a dummy. You know what I'm saying? You that's not what you are. So I try to correct myself and speak to myself in ways like you said, that I speak to somebody that I love. I think those are two of the big ways for me right now.
Yeah, and I think that's really spot on, because the definition that I found for self-compassion was noticing your difficult thoughts, and then showing up for them. Noticing your difficult thoughts, also, you know, your limitations, also the things that, you know, the mistakes that you make, or noticing those things, but creating space for them, and also creating safety for yourself as you process or deal with whatever it is that you're dealing with. And so it's really about not being so quick to judge ourselves and what I am, or be so critical of ourselves. And that led me to really think about, like, you know, why is it second nature for me and for a lot of people, because I don't think I'm by myself here, but why does it feel so natural for us to sort of just tear ourselves down in the ways that we do? Like, why is it that, like you said, like if you know, we make a mistake, it could be something small, like, you know, like I came home today after the gym and realized that I left the light on in my guest room, and really just fussed at myself like I was a child. Like, I don't know, what do you think, that you are made of money? You in here leaving lights on in this house? I mean, and just walking out. And it's not that I was like, you know, that's a small way, but, you know, I have absolutely been like, I'm the dummy who did XYZ, right? So, like, why does it seem so second nature for us to do that? What do you think?
I don't know. I think sometimes it's conditioning. You know, and certain people have grown up in environments where it's been highly critical, you know, where expectations seem to be really high. And so it feels like, you know, they're always trying to meet those expectations, and when they don't, they crush themselves the way that maybe they have been spoken to, or maybe even in harsher ways. Right. Honestly, I think that's something I would really love to, like, talk to Dr. Joy or somebody about. Why is it so much easier for us to talk shit to ourselves when we don't talk to people that we love like that, or shouldn't talk to people that we love like that?
I think and I don't know, like I said, I'm not Dr. Joy, but I agree that it's a good idea to probably have her or someone with some, you know, training in this kind of thing to help us think through. But, like, if I'm just thinking out loud, I think that there is a lot of pressure on Black women to perform.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, in the best ways all of the time, right?
Absolutely.
Like, we are not a people who have been taught or socialized. Like, we don't have good models for embracing our mistakes and missteps. And, you know, these are not even, like, you know, I think in theory we understand that, you know, mistakes and experience is the best teacher.
But we haven't always been given the space.
Right. And we are conditioned to achieve in all things. And like, we're so trained to be so conscious of image and how things appear. And I think that puts a lot of pressure on us. And I think, you know, those of us who grew up in households where that pressure was heavily applied, even when we left those households, like, you know, applying that pressure, you know, we didn't leave it there. We didn't leave it at our mama's house. It came with us to college. It came with us, you know, and I mean, whatever choices that we decided to make, you know, it came with us because we have to be on, and we have to be the best, and we have to be the brightest. And, you know, there's this constant competition and comparison that happens within us and, you know, between us and Black men, or between us and other counterparts. And I think that has a lot to do with how critical and judgmental we can be of our behaviors and the ways that we don't give ourselves the space and grace to sort of just have real life experiences, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that
I
is
agree.
something, thinking about
Even
that.
when we were discussing Sha'Carri last week, when we're too good, we're criticized. When we are good, we're criticized. When we are on par, we're criticized.
Right.
So every step of the way, we're criticized. As much as we, you know, she is a issue. You know, I saw that clip recently of Omarosa talking to Bethany, where she was like, Black women have to be better in order for us to get anything. We have to be better, and we know that, right? And everybody in the audience booed. Well, what the fuck y'all booing for? It's true.
But everybody, and I think honestly, like, not only, it's unfortunate that, it's unfortunate that, you know, that is a reality, right? We're conditioned to believe that, and there is a lot of truth to that, given a lot of the systemic inequities that we have to navigate, specifically those of us who are navigating the intersecting identities of being both Black and women, like double marginalities. And that's not just us, but, you know, and I mean, or triple, depending on, you know, whatever other identities that we carry, because we're all multidimensional people. I think it's sad to me that it's like, you know, we don't ever create spaces for us to really sort of be nurtured. Because I feel like nurturing is important to really sort of process and learn things, right? If we don't do anything but just if we're nothing but critical, then I think we limit the learning, right? So if we think about it like as a teacher, and if we're teaching a small child how to read or how to count or do multiplication tables,
do anything,
right? If we don't do anything but tell them that they should have known better, this is what they got to do. You know what I'm saying? There's got to be, it's got the criticism. And I don't even want to say criticism as it's always a bad thing, right? Because feedback is critical to learning as well. Like, you know, criticism, accountability, feedback has to coexist with that nurturing and compassion and affirming and that affirmation, right? It's got to be like, oh man, you made a mistake, but I know that you can do better. Right. Or you know, it's got to be a both and if we really think about, like, I mean, I get kind of sad when I think about like all the ways that I didn't get that coming up, and how like now that I'm an adult, I'm really, you know, tasked with teaching myself that, because I don't really know what God has in store, but should I become a mother, I don't want to repeat that practice, you know, repeat that culture. And I'm not shaming my family or my mom or anything like that, but I do feel like there's got to be a both and. I can definitely say that coming up, I definitely got much more criticism than I got nurturing. And not to say that my mom didn't love me, because she absolutely does. And I never doubted that. I was never abused or anything like that. But there wasn't a lot of back rubbing in my house. And I recognize, and I know that my mom's felt like her responsibility was to make me strong and to make me tough. But I don't know that, you know, I don't feel like, you know, I think that you can do that while teaching your child how to be, you know, loving, compassionate, to extend grace to self and to others. And that's why, you know, I made me think about that conversation that we had with Fran when we were on The Woo, when we were talking about how you ask Noah if she's proud of herself, and you're like really sort of cultivating that skill, building that muscle within her around, you know, teaching her how to be proud of herself and how valuable that is.
And I want to be really transparent with that as well. I have to actively work on that because it's the same thing. And I think with a lot of us, especially Black girls, I think our mothers or whoever raised us a lot of times, and I'm not speaking to everybody's experience, but it's like you. I remember one time, I'm not the most affectionate person in the world, right? Mm-hmm. And I remember one day Tristan asked me, yo, did your mom like hug you? And not in a way where he was like, damn, bitch, you a hurt ass. But he was just like, yo, did your mom hug you a lot? Like, was she affectionate with you? And I was like, I was like, well, I know my mother loves me. Like, that's never, you know, we chat on the phone. But I had to really be honest and be like, you know what? No, it wasn't like we weren't the most affectionate of people, which is why I have to pay attention to myself so hard as I'm raising Noah. And so that asking her constantly, are you proud of yourself, is also like my own work in making sure that I'm not passing some of those same things down, because a lot of times the tendency is to be a little bit more highly critical, right? Because ultimately, especially in, you know, when you're as a mother, I'm sitting here in my mind half the time like, yo, I just got to make sure like she's good. I got to make sure like she's a good human being. I got to make sure like she's going to be all right out here. And I think a lot of our mothers had that mentality and didn't quite have the tools to express that in a different way, where it could have been way more affirming as opposed to critical. And then it caused a series of other issues. So in me doing that with Noah, I'm reprogramming myself as well. Yeah. Because that's not my natural instinct.
And it is like, it is, and I recognize, right? So when I talk to my mom as an adult, I understand, you know, and I see her as an adult, right? So when you get to a certain age, you, like we've talked about before, you don't see your mom as your mom. You see your mom as a woman.
As a woman, as a human.
And, you know, that gives you some really good perspective. Sometimes it gives you some, you know, I mean, it's not always easy to you know, but
insight, though. It gives you insight.
It gives you insight, right? Because you do have to still kind of work through some other stuff. But when I talk to her, you know, I recognize, and she's been very clear that she was raising me to be able to take care of myself and not take care of myself. You know, when she says, when she said take care of myself, it was like, you know, to be able to be self-sustaining, to build a life for myself, to not have to depend on anybody. And, you know, I get that. And that's really important, you know, raising your daughter to be independent, to be a leader, to be, you know, able to make her own decisions and to take care of herself. You know, I think that those are laudable and necessary, important goals, right? But I also feel like that there is more to the word care than just being able to pay my bills, right?
Absolutely.
And so I do feel like, and I've said this before, I do feel like my brother got a lot more nurturing than I did. And I've said this, and people, I mean, it's a joke, but it's not kinda. And again, this is not me throwing my mother under the bus, because I recognize that she was doing the best she could with what she had. And I turned out all right. I'm not saying, you know, it wasn't all bad. But I definitely felt like my brother was my mom's son, and I worked for that lady. I was her staff. It was her, you know, she was my manager. She managed the tasks that she gave me. And she cared for me and made sure I had everything that I need. She kept me safe and all of that. So she was absolutely an amazing parent. But just in the way of really sort of modeling, and I recognize that it's probably because she didn't get it, and so it's not a shot, right? But I mean, in the way of teaching me the importance of practicing, you know, how to take care of myself personally and emotionally, was something that I feel like I did not get. And so now that I am an adult, I'm really working on like, okay, so what do I need to do to sort of break that pattern?
Yeah.
And so, as I said, my research led me to really exploring how do you practice that. And I found, let me see, I found 7 things here that I wrote down, and I feel like it would be cool to share those things.
Please.
And we can chat about them. So, beating yourself up inhibits you from trying new things and taking chances. Liking yourself, even when you mess up, is the crux and the important part of, self-compassion. Acknowledging that mistakes are a part of life. It's par for the course, as experimenting, exploring, and being courageous are all critical, for us to learn as we grow into, adults. So how do you practice it? Instead of judging your feelings, explore them, examine them, and get to the root or origin of them, and try to look for the lesson that they could be teaching you. So in being a friend to yourself, how to be your own best friend, the first thing that the literature says is to really think about joy, right? And first figuring out the things that bring you joy and really being conscious about weaving those things into your life. And we've talked about that, right? So like having, and I think we probably could go back and revisit that, right? So like, we should all be conscious and be able to, like, if somebody asks you, Jade, what brings you joy? What do you have, like, an answer prepared? Like, I know what I'm going to say.
Oh, what brings me joy? I love being outside. I love being with the land. I love being with the earth. I think it's a beautiful thing. I love exploring and seeing, the gifts that we've been given. I think it's just a beautiful thing. It brings me like immense joy.
Absolutely. And so that's dope, right? So like when you're feeling, when you experience some challenge or hardship, and then you may find yourself in a place of judging yourself, or, that you can do something to bring you joy. You can go outside and go for a walk or go for a hike or do something that will sort of, bring you back from that place of, beating yourself up. Another thing that you can do is to acknowledge your achievements. Be proud of yourself. Compliment yourself, which is what we were talking about before with Noah. And I've been trying to. One of my good friends and coworkers, Maria, we have this practice at work where at the end of our work day, we send each other one thing that we accomplished, one thing that we one goal that we have for tomorrow. Okay. And one thing that we're looking forward to. Like every day. Like every day. He said, like, or is one thing that, I mean, it's one of them, maybe it's 4 things. Cause I think we talk about if there's something that's on our mind, something that we're worried about, like, we'll share that. We also share one thing that we accomplished today. And it doesn't have to be like a work thing. It could be like, I made it to the gym, or I got my laundry done. And then, like I said, it was another thing was a goal that we have for the following day. And we kind of hold each other accountable, and that's just, in the office. And we create space for us to sort of vent any frustrations. But the first one being an accomplishment is really key because it allows us to say, I'm proud of you for that, but I'm also proud of me for that. So like,
I love that.
I've been working on that. The third one is forgiving yourself. And realizing that forgiving yourself is something that you're going to have to do over and over again. Yeah. That second piece was like mind blowing to me, right? Because I recognize that, I'll say I forgive myself for that. And then, I'll be still thinking about the thing that I had supposed to forgive myself for. And so it's like, no, girl, we moved past that. We have forgiven ourselves. God forgot about it. And now it's time for you to forget about it. Right. So forgiving yourself and recognizing that forgiveness is a daily practice sometimes. So just like you're supposed to ask God for forgiveness every day, you need to forgive yourself every day so that you can continue to move forward. That was a game changer for me.
Okay. I'm like shit, because I do need to forgive myself for many things every day.
Every single day, right? I got to forgive myself every day. It's like, dang, I thought I forgave myself on Monday. No, girl, you got to do it again today.
Every time you do some shit that you about to cuss yourself out for.
For real.
Forgive yourself.
Silence the inner critic. And this was good to me because silencing the inner critic was not just, telling her to shut up, right? But sometimes you have to prove her wrong. What I've noticed about myself is that my inner critic, who, like I said last week, sounds a lot like my mama. Even though she's not, like, it's not my mom, it just sounds like her. My inner critic, sometimes my imagination and my inner critic will get together and bring me to some place of not even real possibility. Like, it's not like my mind will go to irrational play, very quickly if I don't watch it. And so, and she will get loud and she will be like, it's gonna happen. Hey girl. And then you have to tell her, it's like, no girl. So I will get in my feelings over something that I have created. And I have to slow myself down, bring myself back and be like, girl, well, what has actually happened? And so I have learned to not only in silencing my inner critic, I question her and I find holes in her story. Because if I look deep enough, she don't have all the answers, right? So like she's often operating from, a very one-sided and limited perspective. She doesn't have the facts. My feelings run amok, but I have to bring her back to the facts. And if I take the time to really deal with her, I can often, prove her wrong if I just take the time to do it. So it's about not letting her run amok in your mind, instead trying to cultivate the inner advocate. So that's really about practicing bigging yourself up.
I love that.
Yeah. So it's like activating the inner advocate. So my inner critic will tell me all the time that I have all this work to do and I'm never going to get it done. But my inner advocate says you have had many weeks where you have had many, many things to do and you've always found a way to get it done. And so what we will do is we will make a plan and we will try to stick to the plan as best as we can. If we can't, then we will adapt the plan, but we will get it done. So it's about telling her that she doesn't know what she's talking about.
I have been trying to, so the same way that I've been cheering Noah on, I've been trying to do the same thing with myself. And so we wrapped up a project this week, actually, XD and I, that we are super, super, super proud of. And at the end of it, I had to step back and say, yo, you motherfucking did that shit, bitch. You did that shit right there. And that's how, like, I really do try to champion myself in the same ways that I do when other people who I love accomplish things and I'm sincerely happy for them. I remind myself that there is no reason why I can't be just as happy for myself.
And that's not like, it's not being prideful or lacking humility. It is simply acknowledging that you worked hard on something, you set a goal and you accomplished it, and that is worth noting. That is worth congratulating yourself for.
Absolutely.
So that's what's up. Number 5, respect yourself. Not on just some Aretha Franklin stuff, but respecting yourself means that you make promises to yourself that you will keep. If you respect somebody, if I respect you and you let me know that something that I do offends you, or if you let me know a boundary that you have, I respect that boundary. And so when I respect myself, I make myself a promise that I'm going to do these things and I'm going to respect that promise. So I thought that was cool. Number 6, find ways to self-soothe. Figure out what makes you feel better in the moment. Like in the moment when things are getting on my nerves, I figure out the things that soothe me. Sometimes it's laying down for 20 minutes. Sometimes it's eating some Sour Patch Kids. Sometimes it's getting on the Peloton. Sometimes it's texting or calling a friend. Sometimes it's cutting on the music. Sometimes it's watching a YouTube video. Today, I watched The Wiz. I had The Wiz on while I was doing my work and was in here talking about just trying to keep the momentum. These are the things that soothe me when people get on my nerves, or when things get on my nerves, or when I get on my nerves, finding ways to bring myself back. What are the ways that you soothe yourself, Jade?
Isn't that how do I soothe well, you all know the main way that I soothe myself, with that good green pacifier. But and it's a relaxation for me. But I also, like I told you before, making my teas and my candles, not to be a parrot, but
What's
making my teas and my candles.
Diatomaceous herbs.
My tinctures and things. Making those soothes me. Cleaning my house soothes me.
Cleaning my house, I don't know who I have become.
It soothes me, but it only though when I'm not on an extreme timeline and when there's nobody here. It's not the same when there's niggas in the vicinity.
You're right. But I am getting up on Saturday and changing my linens and sweeping and cleaning.
Feels good.
I mean, it's just like, I am filled with such gratitude. And I tell, I'm cleaning my house. This is my home. I'm responsible to keep it clean. I will keep it clean in here. Yes. That makes me feel good.
It makes me feel good. And then also breathing. I love a good exhale when I am feeling in what, if I'm feeling a little out of control for a second, I'll just stop and literally just do a and be like, all right, and do it a couple times, and be like, all right, we good, we Gucci, and then that's like a small way in how I soothe myself. So those are some of the ways that I self-soothe.
So good.
And then I just try to lean into how I'm feeling. If a bitch is hungry and wants a burger, I get myself a burger. Yeah. And I sit down and I find something I want to watch. It may be ridiculous. It may be a documentary. It may be whatever. But I sit down and I eat my burger, and however I'm feeling in that moment, I try to honor that. And I find in honoring, and not all the time, obviously, which is why right now I'm a freaking chicken with my head cut off. The amount of stress that I am feeling right now is immense. Mm-hmm. However, it's not a bad stress. And I stop and I have to I had to stop and check myself earlier. All right, bitch, the things that you're stressed about are actually wonderful things, right? You should just take a moment of gratitude, breathe, and the shit's going to get done. And that's kind of how I talk to myself too.
Absolutes. All right. So the number 7, the last one, is a big one, right? And I think it's become my favorite, but it is relinquish perfectionism. I put on my Instagram a while ago, I think I need to run it back. One of my favorite quotes of life now is perfectionism is not a virtue. It serves the ego, not God. Surrender the need to know and control every detail of everything. Mm-hmm. Perfectionism, it often masquerades itself as, the things we find ourselves obsessing over. Mm-hmm. And if we really think about it, it really does boil down to us needing to us feeling compelled to know, to understand, to control, to have a say in all things and other people's choices, and how other people deal with us, and how other people move, what people say, and all these things, how we are showing up all the time, how every outcome, every circumstance. And the fact of the matter is, nothing is ever going to be perfect or go according to plan. Flawlessness is a facade. And it is something that is, honestly, when you think about it, it's boring. And it doesn't serve us at all. It is through mistakes. It is through missteps. It is through fear and nerves and trepidation and all of that, where we learn all that we need to know about who we are, about what we're doing, about who we serve, who our God is. All of that stuff is revealed through the difficulty, through the uncertainty, through the stress, through the strain, and not glorifying stress and strain, right? But just saying that, embracing the uncertainty sometimes, right? Embracing whatever it is that you're dealing with, showing up, being scared, doing it anyway, showing up. This is how purpose is revealed. This is how who we are, our true identities, the things that we've been created to do. All of these things are revealed in that. And all of that is a form of self-compassion, because we allow ourselves the flexibility to try and mess up. And to be okay with not getting it right, to be okay with getting it wrong, with making mistakes, with thinking things are going to go one way and they go another. And, you know, giving ourselves a grace to, you know, we've never been, whatever age you are, you've never been that age before. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like I've never been, and that's why I had to do this at work one time, because my supervisor was really getting caught up in comparing, you know, our performance this year with our performance last year. And she was doing that big time during COVID. And I was just like, you cannot do that, because what we are dealing with is unprecedented. You cannot expect us to show up in the ways that we showed up last year, because everything has changed. And so we have to give ourselves enough grace to recognize that as our circumstances and the context around us change, we get to grow into them. And sometimes we'll bump into some stuff and it'll hurt, or we'll break something, or we'll fall down. And we just have to challenge ourselves not to get stuck at the point where we tripped over our feet. But we got to get up again and keep going. So surrendering.
When you running, you don't stay down there and go to sleep.
For real. When you fall, you don't just lay there. You have to find a way to get up again. And perfectionism, perfect races are not a thing. So we have to relinquish perfectionism in our quest to be our own best friends. When your best friend does something that they didn't want to do, didn't plan to do, when they make a mistake, you don't sit there and say, yeah, man, that was dumb. You shouldn't have did that.
Unless it was really dumb.
Unless it was really dumb. But even if you do say it, it's never like, you should never try again. You should never, it's never from a place of like, you want that person to stop progressing. So why do we do that to ourselves?
No, very true. Very true. Very true. Ooh, child. And perfectionism is boring. Think about the bad seed. Rhoda was a child whose pigtails were perfect and her clothes, and she could play the piano. It wasn't until you found out that she was killing niggas that she got interesting. That's when shit got interesting. No, I like this exercise, actually. I think this is something that we should revisit, because, you know, things could switch up and change, be in different seasons, but you still need good reminders. So,
yeah, man, we got to be our own best friends. And I don't know if you guys want to come along with me as I'm learning what I'm learning, but I just thought it would be cool this week for us to talk about what it means to show ourselves some compassion and to nurture ourselves as much as we are so worried about paying bills and taking care of ourselves fiscally and, you know, professionally. We also need to take care of ourselves and nurture ourselves and be good to ourselves.
Absolutely.
You know, love on ourselves a little bit.
Well, a little bit. I know we've been discussing a lot of self-love and self-care, but nigga, this is the times that we're in right now. These things are very of the utmost importance. So I hope that this resonates in some way. I would love if you all took some of those 7 steps. We'll put the links in the description box where Keia found this information. And maybe we can expound a little bit more, make this a community. Yeah, I would love to know if other people
have other things like this list of 7 is just kind of what I've found, you know, based on what I read. There's tons of more resources out there, and other people I'm sure have lots of other thoughts and ideas. So please weigh in and let's keep this party going. Keep this conversation going.
Absolutely. Shall we move on to our honesty box?
We shall.
Things go better when they go your way. Am I right? And with Windows PCs powered by Intel, you can make, share, and do what inspires you and impacts others. Whether you want a laptop, a tablet, a pen to take notes on screen, something that can handle all your apps and games, or the graphics and speeds for gaming, with Windows PCs powered by Intel, you'll have a device that was made for you. So you can keep making what inspires you and everyone else. Windows and Intel, made to inspire. Learn more at windows.com/made to inspire. Windows.com/made to inspire.
Honestly?
Truly. So before we start our honesty box this week, we wanted to remind you all to send your honesty box questions in for a special episode of Gettin' Grown that will be coming soon, sponsored by none other than who?
Hey.
Target, where we have spent
friends.
entirely too much money.
All of our coins.
All of them. So now, with us spending all of our coins there, they are ready to get knee deep into your business, and so are we. So make sure you are sending your honesty box questions in for a special bonus episode of Gettin' Grown that will be coming soon. With that being said, let's get into this week's honesty box.
Okay.
Hello, Dr. Keia and Chef Jade. I hope this email finds you both well, safe, and with everything you need. Thank you so much. She would like a pseudonym, she, her.
Lenethia Leaks.
Lenethia Leaks writes, I am 26 years old and have found myself in a difficult spot. My current boyfriend, Greg. I couldn't
sorry.
help it. Sorry. Sorry, Lenethia.
That was a good belly laugh. Sorry.
My current boyfriend and I have been together for about 2 years now. I really love him and his patience with me is unprecedented. I told him after a few dates that I'd like to take my time before I get involved physically with someone. I didn't give him a timeline or anything just to be safe. He was cool with those terms and we have continued dating. I told him I wasn't a virgin, but I'd only had sex once before. What I failed to tell him is that I have a fear of physical intimacy that stems from something that took place on my 21st birthday. To make a long story short, my ex got upset with me because I told him I wasn't ready to have sex with him. It turned into an argument which turned into him forcing himself on me.
Oh, wow.
It was my first and only time because after that I had no desire to be physically intimate with anyone. But now with my current boyfriend, I'm conflicted. I want to have sex with him, but fear is not letting that happen. The other night we were watching a movie and messing around. I was fine until he got on top of me. I kept telling myself that I was okay and to relax, but my anxiety started to kick in. I was in full-blown panic mode when he started to kiss my neck. I couldn't see his face, and that was trigger number 1 for me. I asked him to stop, and he did, but I can tell he was frustrated with me. He asked, "Are you ever going to let me make love to you?" which was trigger number 2, because the night my ex assaulted me, when he assaulted me, he called what he did to me making love. Part of me wanted to tell my boyfriend right then, but I just couldn't bring myself to say it. This past week is around the time my ex assaulted me 5 years ago. My birthday was June 30th, and all of this is happening with my current boyfriend a couple days after my birthday has made it worse. Typing this email, even with little to no detail of the assault, was extremely emotional for me. We're sending you love. I know therapy is the next logical step, but emotionally, I don't know if I can unpack all of that right now. After my ex assaulted me, I pushed it to the back of my mind and left it there. There are random triggers from time to time, but I try to suppress anything I feel in those moments. The other night was no different. I feel emotions very deeply and always have since I was a kid. I suppress certain emotions until I'm ready to deal with them, and sometimes for longer than I should. I'm torn because my boyfriend is obviously concerned. I told him it's me and it's something I need to work through, but he keeps asking why I won't let him help and support me. I really don't want the way he feels about me to change because of this, and as of late I feel as though I have been selfish because I haven't told him what happened, and I feel like I'm holding him back from a more complete relationship somewhere else. He called me last night at 2 a.m. and said that he's here for me no matter what it is, and that he just wants to help, but I just couldn't bring myself to say it. It's been 5 years and I still can't say the word. I use assault because it softens the blow of reality. I guess I'm asking, should I walk away from this relationship? I don't want to, but am I being selfish by not telling him? I haven't told anyone else about this, and I'm lacking in the solid advice department. Any insight or advice would be very much appreciated and welcome. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate you. Oh, Lanithia.
Oh, yikes.
Lanithia.
I'm
Man.
so sorry.
I know you said it, and I know you said it. You said therapy is the next logical step. You said it. Go ahead, sis.
I mean, I want to just encourage. I want to first thank you for
your
courage in sort of sharing with Jade and I don't know. I feel unqualified and ill-equipped to really speak to this. I'm going to do the very best that I can, but just know that we're offering this to you as friends, right? Not professionals, but just people who genuinely care about your well-being and your health and safety. I think, as you said, I know it's very hard, and I know what it's like to have to live a trauma that you don't want to recount. And I recognize that there is great fear around telling your story. But I just want to echo your sentiment, and I feel like what Jade was saying as well. Like I just want to echo that, there's great value in really helping, getting some help from a professional around how to process this and how to kind of reclaim your life and decenter this one thing that happened to you from your life and your identity, because you are so much more than what has happened to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I want to kind of first say that and say that it is my prayer that you will find the strength and fortitude to seek out someone to talk to about this, a professional to really talk to about this. Yeah. Because I feel like that would be the best course of action. As it relates to your boyfriend, I am just in a space right now where I am prioritizing just like bold and reckless honesty and transparency in my relationships. I feel like for a long time I have worried that my truth would cause people to treat me differently, but I'm learning that if my truth causes people to treat me differently, that is something that I need to know right away. And so I feel like your transparency with your boyfriend, although difficult, would really be in service to you. And I say that because he has been so accommodating and so understanding, and he has expressed that he has a willingness to support you. And I would say that you need support. And you've been carrying this on your own for so long. And so I also understand the how triggering it can be for you to kind of have that sort of connection and intimacy with him. So I don't know. I don't know that I have a solid, or I don't know that if this is the best advice, but I feel like as Jade was reading your letter, I was just like, I think I would encourage you to tell him. But I don't know. I could be wrong. What do you think, sis?
I want you to do what's gonna make you feel better. Which I don't know what right now. But I don't want you to tell him. I don't want you to tell him because
he's pressuring you.
He's pressuring you, exactly. But I'm just wondering, again, not as a professional, just as a friend, if maybe you might feel a little relief from telling him. And
yes.
maybe you start
That's
with
what I
baby
meant.
steps.
That's what I meant. Like, I don't want her to carry this on her own.
Right. And not even in the, exactly. And not even in the sense where maybe you're not ready. Maybe because you already know that therapy is like a necessity for you right now, right? You know that. You've said that. But you also acknowledge that you might not be ready. I think that's very fair. That transparency is super honest and very fair. We don't have, everybody's not ready to go sit down on the couch and like spill it all, right? So when we tell people to go to therapy, it's more along the lines of, please go speak to somebody professional about this because we don't want to be irresponsible. But I love the fact that you admitted that you may not be ready for that yet. So maybe you take it in small steps. Maybe you tell him in the same way that you told us,
right.
And you let him know ahead of time. I'm not at the place right now where you can ask me any additional questions, and I'm not in the place where I can discuss this any further. And when I am, I will make those steps to do so. But maybe you start with something small. And nothing is small in this instance, but you get what I'm saying. You don't have to go the whole shebang. You don't have to go find the therapist and sit down and go every grueling detail that would trigger you in that moment. But I think even just letting him know a little bit of what you're dealing with so that it can relieve you, like Keia said, of just carrying that around alone. This is so much for you to be carrying by yourself.
She says she's never told anyone for 5 years.
Yeah, that's so that's
I feel
a
like
lot.
that is a heavy burden. And so again, I think Jade raised a great point. I'm not saying that you should tell him because he wants to have sex, because that's not where we are.
Right.
I do feel like he needs to know with respect to your boundaries. And like Jade said, you have the power to determine how you tell him and what you choose to share. You know what I'm saying? You can be honest about this without, like Jade said, rehashing every detail. But, if he has said that he's willing to support you, then this might be a way that you can sort of test out and see if that is, this is what supporting me looks like this right now. And, supporting me may look different 3 months from now, but in terms of what I'm dealing with, in terms of what we are experiencing and sharing as a couple, this is where I am. And I'm letting you know so that you can make a decision as far as what's best for you, but also just in terms to keep myself safe moving forward, in the spirit of full transparency. I want to let you know what I'm dealing with. Again, not really, you don't have to give him everything, but you can sort of see if he is the person that can be a support to you through this, because this is something that you can, you've lived through and you survive. But how do you get, I want to get to the place. I would love to get to the place where this is not the main focus of your life, of your relationship, of anything. You know what I'm saying? This is something that happened to you, but this is not who you are.
No, it's not. It's not who you are, and I hope that you're able to find some relief, Lenithia. And if you could, please keep us, please hit us up. And if you want, Keia and I, if you need us to chat with you on the side, we're happy to do so. The same way you hit us, gettinggrownpodcast@gmail. This is not something we want you to just be left to your own devices. You've been dealing with this on your own for this amount of time. So we hope any of that was helpful, but please keep us posted and keep us updated. And we send you lots and lots of love.
Absolutely. For sure.
Shall we move along to our self-care?
Sure.
I deserve a
All right, it is Black person self-care time. And mine is it's a very specific one. Or not specific. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, nigga. I'm tired. I went and got myself a massage. Very basic. Like, I needed one really bad. My back, my neck were killing me. And I said, let me call up George and just see if he has any availability. And George was like, I have something at 8:30 tonight. Is that too late for you? I was like, I will see you at 8:30. So despite anything that I had going on, I had to make my way over to George because your girl was in an immense pain. And I was very happy I did. It was in the pouring rain and I did not give a fuck. I got my massage, hour and a half, everything I needed, where he was able to work out a bunch of kinks. So that's my self-care. Very simple this week.
Oh, amazing. Okay, so I have been trying to be I will say that I am still getting the house together and really enjoying doing that. And so I've been spending a lot of time just kind of putting things together and setting things up. And I bought myself something that I've been wanting for a long time. And it was delivered this week. So I'm very excited about that.
Well, what you get? You just gonna leave us hanging?
I was, but yes, it's a big,
Like,
it's
what
a
the
big
fuck?
floor length mirror. It's a big mirror.
You finally you really wanted one. Mm-hmm. I love it. I can't wait to see it and hear where you got it from. I think that's wonderful. Have we gotten our other things put together yet or not yet?
What other things? Oh, well, the entertainment center is assembled. I just need it mounted on the wall.
Hey!
But I have a few other items that still need to be assembled. But
I know I fell short on my TaskRabbit search duties. I will get back on that.
I'm still leery of the.
That's why I'm gonna find you one. I'm gonna check the ratings, reviews. I'm gonna read through. I'm gonna do the due diligence.
We'll see.
Let's get to these petty peeves.
Okay.
And I want to be very responsible of the things I say to my sister. Because everybody know I can be real petty. P-E to the T-T-Y, honey.
So my petty peeve this week is for Nike. You know, they charge you a $25 overnight fee if you would like to get your shoes overnighted to you.
Okay.
They give you the option if you would like to select ground shipping or if you would like a 2-day. I paid the $25 for the overnight because I needed the shoes before we leave for this trip. And they still did not arrive. They are somewhere in the middle of Tennessee. And I would just like to know, if I'm paying $25 for this overnight, at what point are you all going to give me an update? Why do I have to keep going in manually to my tracking to figure out some shit that was already supposed to be delivered? I just wonder, why do I select overnight shipping if that is not an option?
Oh, dear.
Is it because the American pilots went on fucking strike? Was it coming on an American plane? I don't know, but I'm irritated because I need my sneakers.
Are they still on strike?
They're on strike, and I fucking ordered a pair of Adidas hiking sneakers that were 2 sizes too big. So then I had to hurry up and order the Nikes, and then they're not here. I'm just feeling very white woman right now.
I'm terribly, terribly sorry.
And also, just another side note really quickly. For any of you whose mothers, parents, whoever raised you, if they planned a vacation or a family road trip and you give them a kiss.
Oh, Lord.
Give them a huge kiss and express gratitude. Because when I tell you, it is not an easy feat. Now, it is something Tristan and I are very proud of, but it is not easy mapping this shit out. And these niggas did it without the internet, so they deserve extra praise. That's it.
Driving.
We are going to Portland, and then we are driving down through the northern redwoods and along the coast, and making a stops in one of the towns. No, not the sundown town of McKinleyville. I listened. We are not going there. But we've planned like hikes and maps, and Tristan's been out there mapping which part of the redwoods we're gonna go to, and
that sounds exhausting.
But it's going to be rewarding. But kiss your parents or whoever raised you. Just kiss them.
We went on road trips, but Rhonda never took me through the woods.
Well, Rhonda packed your clothes.
She did.
Rhonda had to figure out how many days you niggas were going to be gone. And then from there, make sure that she had enough clothes for you to have, but not too much where you all have overpacked. Yes. She did this with 2 kids. Then she had to make sure she was good. She had to make sure her house was clean before she left. She had to make sure there was no old food in the refrigerator. Like, all the ins and outs. All the ins and outs. But I'm not complaining. What's your petty peeve?
My petty peeve. Okay, so as I said, my Black Woman Self-Care, I ordered a very large piece of furniture. Mm-hmm. And I paid $100 for this furniture to be delivered to my home.
That was just the delivery fee.
That was just the delivery fee.
I'm very rich. Okay, go ahead.
And so, honestly, I was expecting the men in their white gloves to come with the box.
Oh, yeah, bitch.
Bring it inside, put it where I want it to be.
Yeah.
All of that. I happened to be downstairs in my kitchen prior to my staff meeting yesterday and saw on my security camera some man leaving a very large box outside my door. And he put it there and walked away. He didn't even ring the doorbell.
Oh, hell no.
Or nothing.
No.
And so I walked all of my 2,000 parts outside of that door. And he saw me and knew immediately that he was wrong. Okay? You knew immediately that you were wrong because he was like, oh, you need me to bring it inside?
Motherfucker, do you think I'm going to bring this shit in?
I said, well, how else am I going to get it in the house? How? How am I going to get it in the house? I said, I saw you tiptoe this big box outside the door and not ring the doorbell because you was just going to leave it there. You wasn't even going to tell me this big, expensive piece of furniture was outside.
And you fucking tiptoed because you knew. You
need me to help you get this inside? If you don't get your big roly-poly cheeseburger looking behind into this house, and what? Are you dumb?
Yes. No, that's not dumb. That's lazy. That's what that is. That nigga tiptoed because he was being lazy.
I said, oh no. Oh no, sir.
Not with $100 delivery fee.
I said, is you crazy?
You all better deliver that with a chilled bottle of Lambrusco, okay? For me to enjoy while you assemble and mount whatever the fuck this is. 'Cause hell no.
I said, oh, no.
And you gonna leave this shit outside my door?
I mean, and walked away. And I opened that door so fast.
I know you're not about to do that.
I opened that door and I was just grateful because had I been upstairs, I wouldn't even have known.
And then you would have had to try to carry and all of that heaviness inside yourself.
He was like, oh, you need me to help you? I said, how else I'm supposed to get it in the house?
Why did I pay 100 American US dollars, nigga, for delivery?
It was
for you to ring my fucking Ring doorbell.
He didn't even ring it. I said, you're just raggedy. You're raggedy.
No, that's raggedy and lazy. That's extra levels of lazy. I'm snitching. Fuck that. This the kind of shit I'm talking about. I work hard, nigga. I'm Black in America, too. I work hard as shit, nigga. But you don't get to just be doing shit. Hell no. You don't get to just be doing shit off the strength. Put this shit in the house, nigga. And I will tip you. That ain't no problem. I will tip you on top of the damn delivery fee that I just paid that cost the amount of my oldest child. You're not going to bring this shit to the house. Get out of here. That's another episode of Getting Grown. Thank you all so much for coming and sitting to listen to us complain and figure out how to love ourselves and just be a goddamn mess. We are just grateful that you come to be a mess with us.
Mess is important. We're supposed to be a mess. Mess is allowed.
It is. Because it would be boring if it wasn't. Imagine if your house was just always clean. Sounds like a dream. But anyway, tell them what to do. Carry us out.
Absolutely. What I want you to do is always and forever mind your business. And I mean really mind it. I mean get so deep down in it that you don't have no time, no energy. You don't even have the means to be worried about what other people is doing because you is so deep down in the bag that's yours, okay? That's what I need you to do. I want you to moisturize your insides by drinking the Lord's water, okay? It's hot outside. It's 1,000 degrees.
Yes, it is.
And you must hydrate yourself because you're perspiring. And I mean, walking around here smelling like lunch meat, you got to drink water. Okay, it's very important. You got to moisturize your inside, and you also must moisturize your outside, especially your heels, because you're probably wearing flip-flops and they are exposed, and we do not want to see them if they are cracked.
Because I've seen some of y'all's heels.
Yes, they will crack because they are dry. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, and wipe your titty sweat. It's real out here in the field.
It's very, very warm. Stay safe out here. And we love you guys. And we'll talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.